everyone, and welcome to our STEP Sustainability Spotlight conversation. Today, we are very happy to have with us Mr. Manjeet Chhabra, the Managing Director of CRIF Gulf. Under his leadership, CRIF Gulf has been a catalyst for helping organizations in the Middle East navigate the evolving landscape of ESG and sustainable business transformation, particularly through the Synesgy platform, a powerful solution designed to make ESG reporting and evolution accessible to business of all sizes. Manjeet brings a wealth of experience and inspiring vision for how data and ESG sustainability purpose can come together and can create a real impact. So today, I'm excited to explore his journey and the story behind Synesgy, behind CRIF, and his views on where the ESG data market is heading. So welcome, Manjeet.
Thank you, Asla. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me on this platform.
Thank you very much. Would you like to we would like to begin by getting to know you a little bit better. Do you want to add anything to my introduction first?
No, I think that was very generous. Thank you for that. All I would like to say is that a better part of the 3 decades of experience that I've had has been in the world of business information and risk management.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in the Middle East for most of my career there. So I have a very good perspective, which brings best practices from other regions into our exciting region in the Middle East.
Yes, also a very good understanding of like how risk and opportunity come together, right, and shape the region.
In fact, the landscape has changed quite rapidly in the past few years. I remember there was a time, and now I'm talking from my industry, from business information perspective. There was a time when data was seen as the competitive advantage for companies. So in the industry, if a company has more data, they had the advantage. And in some time, the data was commoditized. So everybody started to have data, and people had lots of data, and it became about analytics, that who can find more meaning into data. So it's about building more predictive analytics. And from there, it evolved further, and now we have AI and we have other things which are connecting the dots there. But
Yes,
at
now we're
the heart of it, at the heart of it, I mean, we say that our clients expect us to have some kind of a crystal ball so we can tell a good company from a not so good company. And they come from different perspectives. Some people come from risk management, some from compliance, and we have the sustainability world, which is for logistics, procurement, and CSR.
Yes, that is true. And it is very interesting because, as I said before, like the world is evolving rapidly with especially the new technological tools and also like guiding visions of companies and ESG performance of companies with these new tools, new data, and everything. So I would like to take a step back and I would like to ask you about your story. What inspired you to work with Synesgy platform?
Sure. So the idea was really to be able to give an independent opinion on the companies in the region. That's why we exist. That was the reason for our being. And we responded to customer expectations by building a tool called Synergy, because customers were no longer just satisfied with getting financial perspective of the company's performance. They also wanted to know businesses that are more responsible and companies that cared not just for profit, but also for planet and people. So that's how the idea of Synergy was born. And the solution was developed in Europe, essentially, because Europe has been at the forefront of sustainability. So that's leading the world. And we had the advantage of being headquartered in Bologna in Italy. So we first were faced with some regulations and customers, especially starting with the large companies, and they had some obligations, etc. We saw a need in that space, and then we developed this tool, and rest is history.
Yes, exactly.
It was adopted by the rest of the world as well.
That's great.
That's
because
how it fits our larger scheme of things.
Because before us starting with CRIF in the Middle Eastern region, I was already helping clients as a sustainability manager, and I was already looking at their scores on Synesgy in Italy. I work with many clients in Italy, and like once we got in touch and we started engaging with you in the Middle East, I already was coming from an understanding. A lot of clients, a lot of companies using Synesgy as the like as a tool that guide their decision making in their supply chain, which I was quite impressed from day one. But speaking of the solution, I would like to understand in very simple terms, what does your tool actually do and who is it built for?
Yeah, sure. So that's a good question, and it's good that you talked about the perspective of the solution originating in one geography, and from there, it being rolled out to rest of the world, how this has happened. But the solution I like the most about the solution is that it's democratized sustainability and ESG for everyone. So it is not only meant for large companies, but it's meant for mid-sized companies and also SMEs and micro as well. What it does is it allows companies to measure, understand, and improve their ESG performance. So it's a
Mm-hmm,
very simple global digital platform that empowers companies to be able to do this themselves. And this is
mm-hmm,
an ongoing process. It's you can do a dipstick check to see where you stand right now, how are you compared with your industry peers, but that's just the start. And from there is a process of continually monitoring and improving from there on. So that's what this solution essentially does.
mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. But from your description and also from what I know, working with different clients in the ESG space, I know that this market, especially when it comes to evaluating suppliers, supply chain responsibility, is getting crowded, especially when we think about new regulations and directives coming up in Europe. For example, Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive is one directive that prompted more and more companies looking at their supply chain and understanding more that sustainability can't be about their own operations. But although the market is getting quite crowded, I see Synesgy quite a lot. So I would like to ask you, what makes your solution stand out in this sea of ESG platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are things that sets us apart from the other solutions that are available on the marketplace. One is it's a global solution, it's a global platform. So if there is
Mm-hmm,
a head of supply chain that wants to extend it across their supply chain, where suppliers are in different geographies, different regions, different continents even. So the solution is global, but it's suitably localized. If there are some region specific needs or industry specific needs, they have been incorporated in the solution for different regions. So it's one solution that can be rolled out across. Also, it aligns with standard global frameworks like GRI or EU taxonomy. So again, it's very easy for companies to benchmark themselves in a very objective way. It's
mm-hmm,
inclusive, so it is big companies, smaller companies, micro, everyone. It's a platform. There are, of course, different versions, different questionnaire, different depth of information that they are required to share with us. But it's one solution that fits everyone. And last but not least, also the network component. So you can do this assessment yourself as a head of supply chain or as a large company or as a bank, and you can then extend it to your suppliers and also encourage your suppliers to extend it to their suppliers in turn. So the end tier of supply chain can get covered with this solution. So you can easily map the entire footprint that you have, not just yourself and your direct suppliers, but even going beyond that.
That is great because also that is the purpose of many directives right now that we are seeing. As I said, for like let's take Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive or CS3D. What we
Yeah,
want to see is the cascading impact of this responsibility
yeah.
spreading across the value chain. And it seems to me based on my experience and also what you have just said, your tool is perfect to do that, to give that cascading impact
Yeah.
in the supply chain.
Absolutely. It's sophisticated enough to give information in an objective manner and measure it with good authenticity in a global way. Yet it's not very complex because at times the
Mhm.
solutions can get very complex. And
Yes.
ESG, we are talking about connecting so many dots. So this was
Mhm.
a delicate balance that we had to strike. And there, in fact, our experience of rating agency helped because we have a rating agency as well in Europe, which is ESMA certified. So we collaborated with the team to build a scorecard that was very, very sound. And that
Mhm.
is essential because if you are going to give your opinion of a company, you have to look at the right parameters. They need to carry the right amount of weight. And you should be able to do for different industries in different ways. Sometimes you have different requirements or different obligations. You have different regulations which apply to certain industries. So
Mhm.
it's not only just based on the size or geography, but also based on the industry. So we had
Mhm.
to really blend it all together and then come up with something that works across the globe.
Yes, yes, that makes perfect sense. And as you're giving these answers and insights, for me it just fits the perfect big picture because also, as I said, I worked with many clients using your solutions. But for people who are listening to us and who don't know much about Synesgy, do you mind sharing maybe a client success story where a client increased their ESG performance using Synesgy, and like a real world use case that you can share with us?
Sure. So there are, of course, umpteen examples on a global level, but I will just talk about something within the region. So, in fact,
Yes.
I'll give you two examples. One is of a bank, so financial institution. This is called eBank in Egypt. I can name the names because it's all about transparency. We encourage
Yes.
everyone to be more transparent.
Of course,
So
I'm also
they are.
there. Just to interrupt, sorry to interrupt you, but of course, we know that these companies are taking pride of also releasing their scores in their sustainability report. So it's
Yeah.
about transparency, as you said.
Absolutely. So it's Export Development Bank, and that's helping companies from Egypt that are essentially looking to export their goods and services, and also some clients locally there as well. So we are collaborating with them where they're encouraging their clients, which is large companies as well as SMEs, to take this assessment. And based on the result of it, bank is also tailoring their offerings to these companies. So it's a win-win. While bank also gets to know the clients better and they can do more client-specific engagement, clients also are furthering their journey in the sustainability space. That's one example. The other example we can look at is a very large telecom and digital services provider in UAE, Do. We all know Do. So Do also has rolled out this solution for their suppliers. So they are asking all the suppliers to do this assessment so they get to know them better. They have their own compliance requirements. So they are taking care of those compliance requirements by getting this information, and all of this comes like a dashboard to them where they can see the suppliers that have registered on the platform, and as they start to fill out this questionnaire and they start to get their score, they can see score even in a graphical manner just to see suppliers
Hmm.
which segment they are falling in, and based on the information that they are receiving they can decide what they want to do next with those suppliers. And how sometimes even the contracts that are awarded, many of our clients, they have a strong preference for companies that are doing well in the sustainability space. So all of this information helps them make the right decisions in
Of
a
course.
uh,
Of course, and then they can showcase this in their sustainability report, and they can communicate the story with their stakeholders, investors, showing that sustainability isn't just about their company itself, but
yeah,
it has to consider all the business relationships. And when we
absolutely.
talk about business relationships, of course, like suppliers are really, really big players in this game.
Absolutely. There was a time when ESG was more of a checkbox for many companies.
Yes,
It was a little bit of feel good that we're doing it, but now it's become more substantive. It's more real. So on one hand, we are talking about regulation, and many regions have strong regulations. Other regions are building one. So it's not going to surprise anyone if you will eventually be, whatever is your line of business and the size of the organization, you will be part of some regulatory requirement that will mandate this. So the front runners or companies that are more at the leading edge, they are early adopters. So sometimes they have an obligation because of a requirement, and sometimes it's their own initiative where they want to do the right thing. And so one is, of course, external reasons, and you have your reputation, etc. And second is you even get tangible benefits. Many of our clients have experienced tangible benefits of doing it because it takes your focus in the right direction. You probably are looking at how you are, for example, consuming energy in different ways. Are there ways you can optimize it better, etc. And all of this leads to bottom line improvement as well. So it's all now coming together. So regulation on one hand, their aspirations to do it, and of course, gaining from it materially as well.
Yes, and tools like Synesgy really helps this transition for companies to really implement ESG. Because I always say, like, when done right, sustainability gives you a return, big return, both financial and non-financial return in the company. Like you see the change in your employees, you see the change in your governance, in the numbers as well. But of course, when done right and doing it right really, really requires strong tools. This is
So
what
we
we
always recommend
always.
a top-down approach because many times companies approach us and we have long-standing partnerships with some companies in the region and they say, look, we haven't done anything in that space. How do we start? And we actually tell them that you might already have done something, not knowing that you're furthering the ESG or sustainability cause. And we can help you. So I think it starts with stakeholder engagement and even creating awareness first in the boardroom where you need to just make sure that they create the vision which can then be taken to middle management, and from there it's a company wide initiative. So it starts from there. Also things like what is relevant to them, what's important to them, gap analysis, materiality assessment, because it depends on what's their line of business, how old is the setup, etc. So I think there is a little bit of consultative work that needs to happen before they straight away jump into the measurement and benchmarking, and once you have done that, then of course work does not stop. Like somebody had said that race for excellence has no finish line. So I think that's very, very relevant in ESG space as well.
Yes, I completely agree with you. And you summarized it extremely well. And I feel like we would like to, like, we would benefit from talking a little bit about the people behind this team, because like the tool is indeed a strong blend of innovation and purpose. And that human element is also important. So I would like to understand what kind of skills, expertise, or passions really drive your team's mission at CRIF.
Yeah, sure. So, like you rightly said, software is just one side of it. You need to have a good tool which is flexible, intuitive, easy to work with, but also you need people to make that impact in the organization there. So, our crown jewels are people. It's a good blend of people bringing different skill sets to us, starting with people who were behind the product because product was largely developed in-house. We have global competence centers that built this solution once the scoping was done. And that was just the starting point because it's an evolving field. We know that new regulation is coming, requirements are changing. So you need to keep in pace with what's happening around you. And we know that there was a fair bit of localization needed in some regions. Sometimes it can be simple things like making it available in different languages. Like we had to Arabize it. So when we were taking the solution to Egypt, in UAE, not so much, but for Egypt, it was essential that we had to do it. So you're not just talking about functionality, but you're talking about even translating it into language, etc. So there is a team. These are the technologists that are behind that solution, developing and keeping up with the solution. There is a product roadmap, a strong product roadmap that is in place. So we're working according to that, and also just watching the world of sustainability to see what new comes up that needs to be incorporated in the solution. Then we are talking about consultants or analysts. Now, these are the people who engage with the client. So, sometimes clients are expecting some advisory to go along with it, where just looking at specifically what this means to them, and also as part of the report that comes out of the system when you have completed the survey, the questionnaire and disclosures, is the improvement areas. So, sometimes companies are very competitive. So even if, like, you've said some to a business that your performance is fair, they're not happy. They're saying, how can it be good? And those who get good, they say, how can it be excellent? So this is
Mhm.
the team of consultants who bring with them domain expertise, and they are able to relate to the client business. They engage with them, and then we have a client support team which actually guides companies through this process of filling up the questionnaire, etc. When they are on the platform, sometimes they want to know which is the information that they need to share. If they're working on some certification, if they are midway, how relevant is that? How things are going to impacting their score, etc. So there is a team that helps the clients, which is a customer support team. So that's
That's
how it's
great.
a great blend of the team that we have. And also we have a global pool. So we
Mhm.
have some resources that are in Europe, we have resources in Asia, and of course, resources here locally. And we draw from this global pool based on the needs of the company. So if there is a
Mhm.
domain expertise that we don't have here, but we have it elsewhere, we have access to that. And along with that, we put people who know the region well. So we have
Mhm.
the consultants who will know the region specific requirements very well, and they work with other consultants who will bring global best practice and expertise of the industry. And that's how they team up.
That's great because what I was, thank you very much for this insight. And from my perspective, as I was working with different clients, working with Synesgy, as we were carrying on with different like ESG related like the project activities such as materiality assessment, gap analysis, data collection, not only supply chain, but other parts of data collection. Since the client was always partnering with CRIF and using Synesgy, we were also engaging with one of your people, some of your people, and I was always seeing great team members, great team players, but I never heard the story behind. Now I am understanding how you always make sure that the client works with the people coming from CRIF that fits their needs, that understand their pain points, let's say, also the market expectations, where they're standing in sustainability, and then the team comes with a great solution that fits directly the clients.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Technology or the tool is just one part of it. And I think I would say the larger component is business related, where just understanding the business needs and to be able to make a real impact to the client. We are looking for people who have the passion for sustainability. So they are, more interested in making that meaningful impact to the client business
Mhm.
rather than just creating some reports.
Of
And
course.
that's what unifies everyone. So people come from different expertise, but I think what they have in common is the passion for sustainability.
Yes. Again, you're bringing purpose, passion, and innovation together. And this is what most clients would like to see, of course.
Absolutely.
But I would like to zoom out a little bit because what you mentioned when you were talking about the people at CRIF, you said you mentioned a few times about the evolving ESG landscape. It is evolving fast, especially with, again, the new reporting standards and also a lot of regulations, directives coming from Europe, but not only from also like different regions, different legislations. So I would like to ask you, what trends or shifts do you now see shaping the ESG data markets over the next like 2-3 years in the short term, let's say?
So in my view, these are very, very important 2, 3 years, and that period is going to be very transformative in the ESG space. Because one of the impediments to rolling out ESG is a plethora of frameworks that are available. So sometimes companies are very confused. They are looking at different options, different frameworks, which one is better aligned to their requirement. and we are talking about regulation again, it's fast changing. So in my view, what's going to happen is a convergence. So some of the regulations are going to converge. Second thing that everyone is talking about is the adoption of AI. AI is, very transformational, and it's touching everyone, all aspects of life, all industries. And we are talking about the adoption of AI and ESG as well. It will allow you to collect the data in a easier manner, analyze it much better, much faster. So we are talking
Mm-hmm.
about more power to be introduced to this with AI. And another thing that I think could happen is, so of course the big companies were early adopters, and many of them have already embarked on their journey. But what's going to happen very soon is SME is going to jump onto the bandwagon. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at better adoption from SME and even micro industries within this period.
I see. Oh, so you are like when we are talking about 2 to 3 years, one of the most important points to look out for is the developments in AI. And like we can predict it, I think, to a certain extent right now, because we have never seen a pace that is like that exponentially impressive that's happening since the Industrial Revolution. And
Absolutely. Because you have to make sense of all the data that you have, and there
yes.
is so much data out there. And to analyze it and to come up with predictive insights, you can use the power of AI much better. Because if we are looking at better performance in the sustainability space, you need to monitor what's going on a regular basis. So you are talking about collecting all that data and analyzing it in quite real time, and then finding some actionable intelligence from that data piece. So all that becomes so much easier with
Mhm.
AI.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. And speaking of ESG data today, um, what are like I know that each company has a different level of maturity, different level of understanding, and a way to look at ESG data and also practice of ESG reporting. What are some of the biggest myths or misconceptions that clients often have about ESG data or reporting, as like as far as your experience?
So yeah, I think one of the very popular myths is, let me improve first, and then I will look at my ESG performance. So I always say that it's not about judgment, that this tool is going to give you a judgment. The tool is going to guide you. So do not wait for perfection. I think this is what companies need to understand, that everyone should embark on the journey the earliest they can. And they should not wait for something to happen, an event to happen, regulation to come their way, or for them to achieve certain result and then start this process. So
Mhm.
this is a very common misconception, that it's not meant for me at the moment. It's meant for someone else. It's meant for
Yes,
bigger organizations. It's meant for companies that are under purview of some regulation there, but it's relevant to everyone. It's never been more relevant now.
I completely agree with you. The best time to start working on sustainability in the company was yesterday. So let's do
Yeah.
it at least today. We're already late. So
Absolutely,
this is
but
always what
it's
we
very
say.
convenient assumptions that some companies make because they wait for somebody else to do it. You always have the front runners and people who are leaders in every industry, and you have laggards. But now across industry, we are seeing so many use cases are emerging. So there is a good reason for everyone to study that quickly and then get into it so that they can do it in a more controlled way. I always say that when you have a very tight timeline to achieve something, sometimes that's not the best thing to happen from a result
Hmm.
perspective, because you're trying to make things happen because of an external variable. So let's say now a regulation comes out and that's covering a segment of the companies operating here. And then you will see there will be a rush where you are talking about achieving it. We saw what happened with VAT rollout. Some companies did it earlier and they did it better. They did it in a
Yeah.
better controlled way. And then there were a lot of companies that waited until the last minute. So that's also the case here. that some companies wait for external event to happen for them to start this exercise, but it doesn't need to be that way.
And that's a perfect way to put it. I am also curious about what kind of advice would you give to these people then, to companies, maybe small businesses or new professionals entering the ESG field? What advice would you give to companies starting to report, starting to looking at sustainability today as their first steps?
Yeah, sure. So we would recommend to everyone to start this journey if they haven't done it already. So no matter what's your line of business, what's the vintage of the business, in which geography you are operating, how many suppliers you have, it is fast becoming extremely relevant to everyone. So you once you embark on this journey, I think that the tool guides you through the process where you
Mhm.
know this is where I stand. So you have the internal view. You can also be benchmarked against other companies within your industry. So you can see how much gap you need to cover. You have advantage or you have some catching up to do, etc. And at the same time, there is some actionable intelligence that comes out once you start this exercise, and some of that also leads to bottom line improvement. So it's, I think, ticking all the boxes where you're doing it for external reasons, for compliance reasons as well. You're doing it for internal and reasons, and for better stakeholder engagement. There are different stakeholders that all come together if you have to achieve the success there. Because this is where we say that it's a project that cannot be done in isolation. It is the scope is much wider.
Thank you very much for this answer. Um, as we're about to close it, like it is very nice to have this interview with you, and I am also happy that I'm shedding light on topics that I am really curious about Synesgy. I would like to take a pause and bring it back to the community side of sustainability before we close. And as you know, we have created STEP Sustainability Transformation and Empowerment Platform to bring professionals together so that they can learn, collaborate, and share ESG knowledge. Because as we said, ESG knowledge is still one of the biggest pain points. And as companies improve their ESG maturity level, we see that they're going to make better, like have better ESG performance, and the entire world, the environment, the society will benefit from it. I would like to, like, I'm curious about hearing your opinions about communities like STEP and their role in today's sustainability ecosystem.
Absolutely. Now, sustainability thrives in a collaborative way. So at STEP, the community actually creates space for innovators, solution providers, partners to come together and brainstorm ideas. This is also the place where ideas will meet execution. So we are looking at use cases and inspiring each other, and we work so much better when we work as a team. So I think that's a very good space where we can actually get something more meaningful and significant out of this but just watching others, by talking to others, by collaborating in a easier and effective manner.
Thank you very much. So before we close, do you have any maybe word or short phrase that captures your like CRIF's ESG mission? Maybe the essence of what CRIF and Synesgy stand for. If you can leave us with one word or one short phrase.
Okay, so one phrase that comes to my mind is empowering sustainable trust. Because
Mhm.
at the heart of it, that's exactly what we do. We use data to build trust, and we use the trust to further sustainability goals.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time, Manjeet. Do you have anything else in your mind that you would like to add? Maybe
I,
something we didn't touch upon?
Now, I think you've touched upon a lot of relevant areas, and I would again bring the focus back for everyone to see that you are ready to embark on this journey now. If you haven't done it, you are already late. And there are so many reasons, whichever dimension you look at, whichever angle you come from, for you to start this exercise, like I said yesterday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was such an insightful and inspiring conversation. I'm very happy that you spared some of your really valuable time, and it has been wonderful hearing about CRIF Gulf, and the Synesgy platform, how you're helping organizations to turn their ESG commitments into concrete and, as you said, data-backed action. And your message that sustainability isn't just reporting exercise, but it's a mindset powered by people and data truly resonates. And as you said, the time to do something in the company about sustainability in the supply chain, in the organization, is today. Thank you very much. And I would like to finish by saying that at our platform, STEP, we believe that sharing stories like yours really help building the collective intelligence and courage for organizations that they need to move their sustainability agenda forward. So I would like to thank you once again for joining us today, and to your audience, like to our audience, I would like to say stay tuned for more conversations that bring together purpose, innovation, and impact. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me to share my perspective. Thank you.
Thank you.